You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Man, I'm seeing this Jar Jar guy everywhere. He's gonna be fucking awesome.
I want this mega muffin. Betaville. Beta Cuckville. Kevin Feige plays Chinos. What if it's like Thanos, guys? You get that reference?
So he's a fucking narc.
Yep. He started growing a handlebar mustache.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 381. I'm your host, John Danger, joined by my co-hosts.
Matt Hag.
And T8 Splash Bay. I mean, TJ, or whatever I am.
TJ is just drinking a liter? How big is that V8 Splash you're drinking?
64 ounces. It's 2 quarts.
So that's a gallon, right?
No,
no, gallon's
half-
It's a
128?
half gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Half gallon.
Half gal. Half gal challenge. Do it.
That's
Don't-
like that's like
don't
2
make
liters
me.
almost, right?
It's red. You
Yeah,
puke
no.
that up. It'll ruin everything. All right. I have a drink that I wanted to drink on the podcast live
Drink
because
a little drink for John.
everybody remembers the Super Bowl commercial that they introduced this drink, but it is Mountain Dew Zero.
Ooh, I actually had that yesterday.
I haven't tried it yet. So, interesting note: it has a black pull tab on top,
Okay.
which is pretty cool.
I don't
looking.
notice that kind of thing. I think I'll
You don't see color?
are just like good.
Ugh. This is purchased from the grocery store today.
Now, I will
Give
tell
it
you
a smell.
that this is not replacing Diet Mountain Dew.
No, it doesn't. You
This
can-
is filling that middle role like
all right.
Pepsi
I'm giving
Max
it.
did.
I'm giving it a sniff here.
Is Mountain Dew owned by
Let me. I got to
Coke?
get into the mic here,
No,
guys.
PepsiCo.
So you guys can hear me smelling.
Yeah. I thought Coke was like, or Zero was like the Coke branding.
Oh God! Oh God! I just spilled on myself from doing the
great.
sniffing.
Yeah.
There's a little on the floor now, but okay. It smells exactly like a regular Mountain Dew. It doesn't smell like Diet Mountain Dew.
Mhm.
All right, going for my first sip.
Just make sure you get all those slurping noises in there, right up in the microphone.
Of course.
That is fucking good.
It's right between
Yeah.
the flavor profiles of Mountain Dew
Okay.
and Diet.
So I'll say what it tastes like is that like almost all of these Zero ones is that the flavor profile is exactly that of Mountain Dew, but the back end is just empty. It's like there's nothing there because you don't have that sugar, like that sweet stickiness that sticks around
Yeah.
your mouth.
Yeah.
From
But
sugar.
you also don't get the like diet aftertaste that you get with all diet
Yes,
drinks.
correct. There's no diet aftertaste. There's just no aftertaste. It's just like a hit of the flavor, and then no like sugar.
So Matt, you were saying that does Coke own that Zero branding? They might, but that's why all of the Pepsi products say zero sugar instead.
Yeah, they say Mountain Dew zero sugar.
Oh, okay.
Because the one I mentioned from Taco Bell, they have the Baja Blast zero sugar. Same thing there. They've rebranded Pepsi Max as Pepsi Zero Sugar, which if you go way back used to be Pepsi One.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Oh,
it was 1
dude.
calorie.
Yeah.
Pepsi One. That the only thing I remember from Pepsi One was all the fucking Star Wars Episode 1 cans. They released. It's really interesting too. Fun fact: I actually know a person who worked on the Pepsi Lucasfilm like co-marketing. Basically, he does theater around town, but he used to be like a graphic designer for like Star Wars and like their ad promotions. Like he worked for an ad agency, so his the Coke Zeros or the Pepsi One stuff was just such like a brand synergy thing. I remember when Episode 1 came out, it was just absolutely fucking everywhere.
Mm.
Like Doritos bags, Pepsi cans, do you remember they had see this came out when this is why I know the reason why I liked Episode 1 is because of my age, because I was young enough to where I was getting kids meals at the various fast food restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We would go to each one because like what was it, KFC, Taco Bell, and
Burger King?
no, it wasn't Burger King.
Oh, you're talking about the Yum
Pizza
brands.
Hut. Pizza Hut. It was those three, yeah, because you have a Kentucky Hut you can have. So it was those three. Each one had different toys for the movie, so you could like go and collect them all. And I was way into that shit.
Yeah. I remember
because I think I was 12 or 13 that summer.
This will date it. I remember browsing the Star Wars toy section at Ben Franklin, and they had like these action figures, right? That had a voice chip in them and said a line. And I just remember browsing all of those and not being able to afford any of them. And also,
it was 99.
like this was before it came out, so I was like, man, I'm seeing this Jar Jar guy everywhere. He's gonna be fucking awesome.
So I was 13. So I was like right at the edge of buying Happy Meal stuff because it was like I want the Star Wars toys because I was way into like Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll eat a Happy Meal.
John,
or I'll
I'm
eat
gonna blow your
whatever.
mind. You can still buy Happy Meals.
Yeah, but they come with bullshit apple slices now and a fucking milk jug. Fuck that. I want to eat the garbage that my childhood that made me the sadly overweight man I am now.
I like apple slices.
And the toy is just like a step counter.
I actually do like it. Like I will say the McDonald's apple slices are fucking good.
Because
They're
they
pre-cut.
probably dust it with extra high fructose corn syrup.
Well, kind of.
No, they don't. They're meant to be super healthy.
One of the things that they do with anything pre-sliced apple in order to keep it from browning is throw a little bit of lemon juice on it.
Yeah.
It adds a little bit of extra tartness, especially if you get a Granny Smith apple.
I just know that the apple slices at McDonald's are actually pretty good because they're nice and crispy. They've got a good bite to them. But I still want those fries. I think you can still get a Happy Meal with a soda and fries, but you have to ask for it specially. Like it's one of the options.
I thought the default came with a half kid-sized fries plus apples.
That could be it.
Yeah.
McDonald's,
it's like a super mini sleeve of fries. It's about 8 fries.
Okay, so I googled McDonald's Happy Meal. The website happymeal.com is what comes up first. Their toys right now are right up little young John's alley. And my wife. If we were both children, there's the DreamWorks Spirit Netflix streaming cartoon, like toy horses that you could get, which my wife would want.
Oh, it's got the boy girl toys right now.
Exactly, and then the boy toy.
The boy toy
is a Fast and Furious Spy Racers animated series. So little Hot Wheels. Those are the best. Cool. That was the best McDonald's Happy Meal toy always because it was like I got my Hot Wheels. Here, just throw these into the collection.
What are you doing, Matt? What are you doing?
I don't know. The screen capture broke.
Uh-oh. Okay. Matt, what the fuck? You ruined our podcast. Oh no, we're infinite on Matt's screen right. Oh no, it became more infinite. What happened, Matt?
I don't know.
The screen capture broke. It's not pulling from the thing.
It's pulling from the wrong screen now.
I just want to see what comes in a Happy Meal. Can you please tell me what comes in a Happy Meal? HappyMeal.com is not the site for that because this is literally a website for kids. It's just like showing like printable like
toys and activities.
No, yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna go to McDonald's.com. Let's see, and then I'm gonna go to the McDonald's from like fucking Japan. We'll see what they got on there because that's always fun.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that.
We haven't done that in a while. And have you tried the new McChicken breakfasts?
I have not. I've seen them, but
so they're cheap as fuck,
right?
Yeah. So it's just the McChicken patty in a McGriddle or in just a biscuit, and they have a buy 2 for $3. So I got breakfast. I got one of each for $3 and then $1 coffee for breakfast. The McGriddle's good, as a McGriddle is with the chicken. I like the McChicken patty. It's kind of spicy.
Yeah, it's got a nice peppery.
Yeah, it's got that black pepper to it.
But I don't like McDonald's biscuits. I stay away from them like the plague.
Well, you can get the 2 for $2 or 2 for $3 with 2 McGriddles if you wanted.
I want it on the muffin.
I do like an Egg McMuffin. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So you got 3 Happy Meal choices. You got the hamburger Happy Meal, the 4-piece nugget, or the 6-piece nugget Happy Meal. So let's do the hamburger Happy Meal. Mm-hmm. Doesn't come with cheese.
What?
The hamburger Happy Meal.
Well, you can get a cheeseburger Happy Meal too.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, and they also have the Mighty Kids meal, which is the double burger or double cheeseburger.
Oh, so it's just so they call it Mighty Kids Meal. So that's for like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So the drink you can't get a soda with a Happy Meal. It looks like I'm
Wait,
customizing
really?
my Happy Meal. No, well, no, you can't get a soda. They have apple juice,
The milks and water.
milks or water.
Mhm.
So every kid will just get apple juice because that's basically soda.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk.
Oh, chocolate milk.
Apple slices you can change into Go-Gurt
Go
or
with
apple
fine.
slices.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get kids fries. So it's
Yeah.
just 100 calories serving fries, so like 6 fries. And
And
then
then
you can-
enough to get you that saltiness, and then you want the sweet to.
Yeah, and you can do
Break it down.
cheeseburger instead. So that's pretty much what it was when I was a kid, except for you got more fries
Yeah.
and no apple slices. But I could go with some apple slices or a Go-Gurt. Actually sounds fucking good. I feel like a Happy Meal is a good meal, actually. You get fucking organic juice, you get some fucking Go-Gurt, a little bit of thing, just a little taste of fries, and then like a
Mhm.
hamburger. And that's like calorie-wise, let me calculate it out. The
Was it
hamburger,
480?
let's say the hamburger is not 250. A cheeseburger is probably what, 350 calories for a slice of ham cheese?
Yeah, probably.
So let's say that's 300, 410 with the fries. And then the juice is 35 cals because it's only 6 ounces. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Let's change that. I get the milk. Fuck that. I'm not getting a tiny thing of juice.
Chocolate milk's gonna put you up to like 85, right?
No, the milk's 100 calories because it's 1%.
Okay.
So that's 500 calories, 515, which is for
Not
a
bad
kid.
for a single meal.
Yeah, it's for I'm eating out at a fast food restaurant
Yeah.
for a kid.
It'd be a little high for that
470.
day,
It
but-
says 475 right on here. Oh, but that's without the cheese slice. So yeah, a little bit over 500. But like considering like what is my go-to meal at McDonald's? Let me see. Let me just build my meal here.
I'm gonna have you build what I just ordered today at 2:00. So after you're done with that,
Wait, how do I? Oh, okay. You can't do that. Okay.
actually, I
You
could
can't,
probably.
you can't build a meal on here. I'd have to go on their app. It's like the ordering app.
Oh, I can't do that because it's this.
Well, the 2 cheeseburger meal is the cheeseburger is only 300 calories. That's not too bad. 600
There's-
calories for 2 of those.
I mean, you don't get much meat with that 10 fur.
No, you don't. Man, using the industry term there. The 10
You've
for
used it on the
ones.
podcast, yeah.
I know.
It's a 1/10 pound
Medium
patty.
fry is 320, so that's 920 calories. And then I get a diet soda because regular soda is basically poison. And I try not to drink it as much as I can. I will have it every once in a while. So that's but like almost 1,000 calories. That's half your daily calories, and probably more than half of your fat that you need for a day.
I probably had 1,500 calories at 2:00 today. I'd gotten 3 McDoubles, all with no pickles and no onions.
Well, sometimes I get a McChicken to add onto that if I'm hungry.
So
'cause
that's
it's $1.
that's a 6 10th pound patties and 3 slices of cheese.
And the McChicken's 400.
And then I ordered a large Coke, no ice, because
Okay.
the really cold soda hurts my teeth. Although extra soda hurts my teeth more because acid.
Yes.
So basically, it's a 32-ounce Coke and way too much meat and salt. It's great.
You know what is really good at McDonald's?
Everything.
Their chocolate chip cookies are pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
They're
Absolutely.
surprisingly good, and it's one of those things you don't think that they make. But I learned this from Adam Ham, whose brother worked at McDonald's for a while, and it is the you can get a cookie tote they call. I think it's 12 cookies
Okay,
for like $4 or something.
well, that's not bad.
And they're hot because they keep them in like the little warming tray, so you get like warm ass chocolate chip cookies. Yeah.
If they have them in the display case, sometimes they'll even ask you, "Do you want them warmed up?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I do. Do you ever do that with cookies though? That you buy from the store, throw it in the microwave for like 15 seconds.
I've heard people doing that.
I always do it.
I will take a cookie and put it in the freezer
Oh,
and then take it out. I like
get
it
out of
cold.
here with your
I like
fucking
it cold.
cookies.
Cold and soft.
And you know what's good? What the fuck is this podcast? What are we
TJ
talking
likes
about?
it cold and soft.
We're like hack the menu here. I like all right, here's a tip. Get a Reese's Big Cup, put it in the freezer.
Ooh.
It's good.
So your chocolate becomes like magic shells, so it kind of crumbles as it
cracks,
as you bite through it.
And then the peanut butter inside is like still soft,
still
but it like is cold, and then like it kind of warms up in your mouth. It's a good one. Adam turned me on to that as well. We used to buy those.
I like my chocolate cold.
I like my chocolate cold, and I like my peanut butter hot as the sun.
So I mentioned this pre-podcast, but Matt, as we were talking about the nacho fries last week, and the buffalo chicken options,
I want those so bad, and I'm never going to have them.
So I found out that both the buffalo chicken nacho fries and the buffalo chicken nacho fries burrito, it's really just it's the nacho fries, the buffalo sauce, sour cream, and pico de gallo. That's really all that they put in it. And the chicken. I said buffalo chicken. But I don't like pico de gallo, so I just ordered the burritos without it. And I know there was one day this week, I think I had like 5 of them. 3 at one meal and 2 at another.
Jesus, TJ.
Oh, they're so good, and they go down so nice. Good. And I wouldn't have expected that buffalo and sour cream would balance so nicely. Because I really like buffalo flavor. Because I go buffalo and ranch typically.
Yeah, but I mean, sour cream's kind of the same. It's very fatty and it's got a little tang.
But it's also
I always go blue cheese dressing when I do that because I love the funk of the blue cheese.
Yeah, I guess I can go with the dressing, but I don't really like. I don't like just straight up blue cheese.
I like blue cheese dressing. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I've been making myself these buffalo chicken wraps. They're just like buffalo chicken lunch meat, buffalo sauce, blue cheese crumbles, and like shredded carrots.
See, I was thinking of doing that, but I wanted to go super cheap because you can get, just like canned tuna, you can get canned chicken.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I make chicken salad all the time with that.
I've got all these leftover flour tortillas, so I've been wanting to take some chicken. I've got some. I have ranch, but I need to pick up some buffalo sauce, and then I've got fresh spinach that I like throwing in there.
That sounds good.
I think spinach is better than lettuce.
I agree, 100%. Like lettuce, like iceberg is just like crunch.
Yeah, it's just the texture with no taste.
With some nutritional value, and B, some actual flavor that's like good, like a leafy flavor that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just very interesting because I've known TJ to be a very not picky eater, but I would just say a vegetable averse eater.
Yeah, very much.
My brother is the same way, but raw spinach on stuff he's cool with.
Oh, it's great.
I think the flavor of spinach is just light enough that it's not offensive. So he eats a lot of spinach because it's the way that he gets his vegetables.
Well, the other way I do it is they have to be really, really stewed. So like the best item on the KFC menu is their pot pie. They have the best pot pie I've ever had in my life.
Good. Yeah.
And the longer it's under the heat lamp, the better it is.
It just gets crusty on top.
Super crusty on top. You get a little bit of a soft underneath because they just roll out a biscuit.
Yeah.
And then underneath, you just want that stuff to just... And all the flavors meld, so you're not dealing with individual flavors.
It's like the famous bowls. There's just, here's a bunch of shit. Oh, that's what I heard about that. I was like, I was doing famous bowls before they existed because when I was younger as a kid, I would just have you get the little fucking with your meal, the little cup of gravy and the little cup of mashed potatoes. Yeah. And then you just put the corn in there and you mix it. And that's basically most of a famous bowl. Mm-hmm. I love that combo. Yeah, man. Let's hack the menu, boys. All right.
Yep.
McDonald's. What is it? What is the Japan? .co.jp.
.jp, I think. Holy fuck, Matt.
Matt's
okay?
Matt's microphone stand just broke.
No, it's.
Oh, okay. Just.
I think boys. The threads are stripped.
Okay. Speaking of stripping, no. Let me turn screen share on so you guys can see this image. All right. Can I share just that? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So, look, I'm not going to translate. So there's a Kit Kat McFlurry that looks good as fuck. We've got some burgers over here. That's the next one. They look to be just regular burgers that are just thick, and then this one seems to have like a fried. I'm assuming that's like a bacon, like a big, thick Japanese style like pork bacon.
Because it almost looks like cured squid or something.
It could be. We could try the Google isn't actually asking me if I want it translated
because it's pictures. It won't translate it properly.
What are these patties?
What is that?
It looks like It looks like is that like fried rice patties?
Oh, that's probably like a rice cake patty.
All right,
like
let's see. Let's look at the menu here. Okay, it's just images. All right, so I gotta go to the menu.
Yeah, or just
because this will translate. Yeah, it's auto translating actually.
Okay.
All right, let's go to burgers. What did we get? Okay, so there's the Morning Mac, which is just an egg McMuffin. All hot Tabuchi. What is this?
I knew they'd have a teriyaki.
Double cheeseburger with a thick cut bacon. So it's just a really thick slab of bacon. Teriyaki mac. That sounds good. Like the beef patty, but with teriyaki sauce. Dude, man, put teriyaki sauce in everything.
I have a feeling it's probably marinated in it instead of just thrown on top.
So there's a teriyaki chicken, which I'm assuming is just the McChicken doused in teriyaki sauce.
They got a filet-o shrimp?
Filet-o shrimp, baby. Oh, that sounds good as fuck. How did they have a spicy chicken burger and we don't here in the U.S.?
They sometimes do.
Egg cheeseburger. Why do we not have that? Yeah. The fucking McMuffin egg on top of a burger. Bacon mac pork. So there's just a...
If you want to be super lazy with
there's the
price conversions, just think that 100 yen is about $1.
Yeah, I know.
It's always
it's super easy for Japan. So the prices are very similar. Like their McChicken is $1.10. Here's their breakfast. So they actually have the Wendy's style thing because Wendy's is rolling out breakfast now.
About time.
They have the bacon. What?
About time.
Yeah, and they have like a bacon burger that's just like an egg, cheese, bacon on a hamburger bun. So they already have that. Okay, well, so let's stop. Morning breakfast menu, filet of fish is on the morning.
Yep.
And they have what you wanted, the McChicken on the muffin.
Good.
Instead. Yeah, that'd be good. I need to go to Japan, guys.
Now all you need to do is just do McChicken with the egg on it, and then we're set.
I want this mega muffin, which is 2 sausage patties, cheese, egg, and bacon.
They
look at this monstrosity.
They did the triple decker here in the States for a while.
Did they?
Yep. It was
I really liked the McDonald's thing where they brought in the extra like stuff, where they brought in like the international items, but they didn't go weird enough with them.
No.
Like the Stroop Waffle McFlurry was legit great because Stroop Waffles are great.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 sandwiches were boring. They just had like the Italian tomato basil chicken, which was like and then the Canadian like McDonald's, it was bacon burger, which was like, it was okay. Here it is. Yeah. Rice patties.
Yep.
Fried rice patties. Those look good as hell. Okay. Do you see this right here? This double Big Mac.
Yes, I see it.
Why is the McDonald's in? It's interesting because in Japan, you're talking about the U.S. We're all like, okay, McDonald's is trying to be healthier, basically, and more natural and shit. McDonald's Japan is just like, what if we had a Big Mac where it was 2 patties per part of that? So you have 4 beef patties in one sandwich.
They've got a double McDouble.
They do have a double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That is what I used to make when I worked at McDonald's, and it would be the end of your shift and you still had your on shift like 80% off or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so I would order 2 double or 2 McDoubles, and then you would just throw the middle, throw the extra buns out.
Yeah.
And just put all 4 on one. We called it the McHeart Attack. And I like those. But otherwise, they just got double McChickens, double filet of fish, which they've done in the U.S. before.
Double teriyaki chicken.
Double teriyaki mac. They just have double of everything. They have double egg, 2 patties and an egg. I mean, double shrimp fillet. Yeah, they just have double everything. Like, why not double it? Interesting. Also, that's their night, their after 5 p.m. menu. So this is the like late night. I'm fucking drunk. Give me a double fucking shrimp fillet of shrimp. Yeah. Anyway, so that's Japan, huh? Can you think of any other weird regions of McDonald's? What would be .co.
I don't think it would be that weird anywhere else, unless India.
I know Japanese
what's
pizza
India?
has mayonnaise and corn
I don't
on
know
it.
what India is.
Is it IN?
It
No.
sounds too simple, though.
I don't know. Find me a good one. What's Korea? Is it KR? It is.
I think Korea is KR. Yeah.
Korea is KR. It's loading. I think they probably. Whoa. Okay.
India's top level domain. I'm looking that up right now, just so you have it. Holy India.
All right. Let's check out the menu. God, I love doing this shit. This is the world we live in. God.
India is .in. I just don't know how it is. I don't think it's maybe. It might be .com.in or maybe it's just McDonald's.in without the co.
Let's look at the McDonald's Korea menu is very small. It looks like they don't have quite the expansive menu. They got the McChicken. They got the McChicken mozzarella, which is just a McChicken with mozzarella sticks on top of it.
Ooh,
Sounds pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I want that.
Spicy Shanghai burger, which I'm assuming is some sort of fish patty then. And then the 1955 burger, which is just looking like a classic bacon, cheese, tomato, lettuce.
That's almost a
grilled
Wendy's
onions.
burger at this point.
Yeah. So what's new? Let's see. What is new?
I found the Indias, and they have 2 different regions.
Oh boy. All right. Anyway, it's interesting. So, just talking about McDonald's in general. So you know how you have Burger King who's doing the Impossible Whopper, and like Qdoba's doing Impossible, and like Dunkin' Donuts has like the whatchamacallit, the Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich and stuff. So what's really interesting about all that is McDonald's doesn't have that, and you're like, why does McDonald's not have like a Beyond Meat burger or a Impossible Burger? Do you know why?
Because they're, I don't know, something.
It's really interesting.
International.
And this has something to do with my knowledge of how the food industry works. They do not have. There is not a fake meat supplier that can make enough for McDonald's. McDonald's
really?
I'm not surprised.
So much. McDonald's has so much traffic. You're like, okay, McDonald's, yeah, that's like the fast food chain everyone thinks of. Like number 2 below it is like half the size. You know what I mean? Like it is. McDonald's is just so massive in the US. So and everywhere. So they don't have it rolled out yet. They did that regional PLT, which was a Beyond Meat thing, and it didn't really roll out. And it wasn't super large. I think it was just in Canada for a little bit. So I'm sure they'll have it, but it's interesting because you think about why can't they just do this? And it's because it's a franchise thing, and because I just said, oh, my Taco Bell didn't have the nacho fries. Yeah, buffalo chicken nacho fries. Because I wanted to try that. They didn't have it because McDonald's has so many places that people would just be pissed that they couldn't get the thing everyone's talking about. If you tried the new Impossible Big Mac, and it's I can't because they don't have it at mine, and then that people get pissed. So it's we basically have to wait to roll this out until the supply chain is big enough.
Can you imagine just the collective Beyond Meat company orgasm when they get that contract in?
Yeah,
billions of burgers.
Yeah, knowing a bit how that world works, I mean, that is what you fish for, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, there'll be a product that I've worked on that it's hey, this is going to get used in Burger King, and it's that's a big deal because that's a big contract, because they have a lot of stores. And we're making the sauce, you know what I mean? Or we're making the bun, you know what I mean? So that's a big get for these places. So people vie for that.
So I picked a good one with McDonald's West and South India because there's not a beef on this menu at all.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not a single beef.
Of course.
They got everything from this thing called the Mickaloo, which I can't tell what kind of patties on there. There's a lot of chicken stuff.
Is that something that Grimace O'Shaughnessy or Shaughnessy O'Grimacy? The Mickaloo.
They've got chili kebabs. They've got stuff on flatbread wraps.
What is the India top level domain again?
It is .in. I did McDonald's.in.
Oh, it's not .co.in then.
Yeah, and then it brings you to www.mcdonaldsindia.com, and then you choose your area.
So North West and South is what I want?
Yes. North and East didn't pull up a thing that had a menu. It was just stuff for McDelivery.
I see.
And they got bowls, too. Like
I want
McDelivery.
bowls. So they got their McCafe is their big deal right now, it looks like. They're trying to...
I want them to have like a curry mac.
Oh, masala wedges?
Fuck.
Fuck, dude, like masala spiced fries. Yep. Pizza McPuff.
Yes.
That looks good. It's like a Hot Pocket. And then there's an egg sandwich here, it looks like. A tiki masala burger. Oh, they just got a lot of like veggie patties.
Yep. And not all veggie, because they'll do chicken too, but...
Yeah. Did they have a menu? Farm to Fork? I like how this is actually in English specifically. It's not being Google translated.
Yep. I'm doing this on Edge, so I didn't even get the...
McSpicy chicken. Yep. McSpicy paneer.
Yeah.
That is what I fucking want. Paneer cheese is so fucking good. You get me this sandwich here with lettuce. It has creamy sauce, which I'm assuming is probably like a Indian style spicy like sauce, and like a breaded cheese spicy patty.
Yogurt sauce.
Dude, that sounds so good. But the thing is that I'm the type of person who would get that. Like my parents would be like, who would ever buy that? But you think about it, our parents are going away, and the main people
John, are you gonna kill my parents?
Matt, your parents will be going away very soon.
Oh no!
But what is the McAloo? What's Aloo? I've seen that before.
Like vindaloo?
It's potatoes and peas, is what.
Okay.
Aloo is. So it's cool. It's like a veggie patty.
But they have different.
They have a naan.
They've got naans.
They got like a naan sandwich. Oh, dude.
They've got Mexican stuff here too. Salsa chicken burger.
I actually really like the fact that this McDonald's in India is so vastly different. Here's the only thing. They have a McChicken meal and they have a Filet-O-Fish meal and chicken McNuggets. Those are the only things that are like that. You know what they should have, though, in the U.S. that they don't? The McVeggie. Just get this fucking veggie patty over here.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Like, people will buy that.
It doesn't have to be a burger's... I mean, it doesn't have to be...
It doesn't have to be a burger. But make a fucking veggie burger, McDonald's. Fuck's sake.
I kind of want this. They have a hash brown on a whole wheat bun. I'd eat that.
Yeah, right?
Man.
Just that a hash brown on a bun.
Carby breakfast.
I mean, that's India, man.
Yeah. And their bun is...
They're all about carbs, you know.
Got both black and white sesame on it.
Okay, look at this shit. Mexican cheesy fries?
Yep.
What is in this? I can't even see it. The description's not coming up, but it's just like fries with, it looks like two different sauces. Probably like a salsa-y sauce, maybe.
Yeah,
and
like
cheese
hot sauce
and
a cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's fun. India McDonald's would be fun to go to, but I like the fact that like a lot of these, like the Japanese McDonald's, is pretty much the same as the U.S. McDonald's. India is a completely different menu, boys. All right, so that's next on our tour. So the Born in the 80s worldwide tour, when it happens, like 20 years from now, if we ever get popular, we got to go to India, try the McDonald's. We got to go to Japan, try the McDonald's.
We'll post it on Periscope because
yeah, that's what everyone does.
I used Meerkat.
We can do Twitch from the phone.
Yeah,
you can get a mango smoothie at McDonald's.
Oh man,
what? Okay, they have an iced tea called green apple iced tea.
Ooh.
How is that not a thing in the U.S.? That sounds good as hell. An apple flavored iced tea? That's always weirded me out. So like in Mexico, they are way into like apple soda. That's like a definite soda flavor. Why do we not have that here?
Maybe a little
There's
bit.
not a single apple soda.
Manzanita Sol.
That's it though. But that's like
That's it.
from
It is.
Mexico originally. But they so they have it sometimes. I think you can get it at Taco Bell.
Yeah, I think so.
I love that. Like apple soda, man. Give me some apple soda.
I mean, isn't there also like an apple Fago or an apple?
Well, and they have a lot of eggless
like
options here
regional.
too at
Yeah.
McDonald's. Because of course there's some people that are no eggs either. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, wow. McDonald's India is the weirdest thing I've seen. I'm sure the top level domain for like Saudi Arabia would be interesting, but they eat meat, so
Yeah, it's just McDonald's is a company built on beef and what they've done to
Yeah.
get into a
yeah.
place where
I mean, it
nobody
was
eats
a
beef.
hamburger store originally.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that India would be the most interesting one.
I mean, but in general, if we do anything in the Middle East, because you're dealing with halal diets, I wouldn't want to do Saudi Arabia because I just hate that country. But I mean, would there be McDonald's Israel, Pakistan, or Palestine? Would there be
I don't think there's a
McDonald's,
Palestine. There's definitely going to be a McDonald's Israel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that.
All right, guys, that's enough hack the menu. What's everyone been up to?
Not too much. The new games with PlayStation Plus are up, and one of them's a series I never played, which is the BioShock stuff. I barely played Infinite,
Oh, yeah.
so I want to play them all now. But Sims 4, I jumped into.
That is interesting. I bought that a while ago on PS4. It works okay on PS4.
Yeah, except for you can get tutorial locked. I mean, you can manually get out of the tutorial, but I wanted to complete all the tasks just so I.
What does
know
that mean?
Well,
Tutorial locked.
so if you play choosing to do the tutorial, it gives you like a checklist of things that you have to do. And that checklist will keep changing. And they put me at a spot where I have to continue with things on my Sims aspirations list, but 3 of the things are things that require that they unlock the phone icon on my screen to do.
Okay.
And it still is currently locked by tutorial.
Huh.
Now, I could get out of the tutorial, but then
Yeah.
I can't get back in, and I no longer have those options.
That's
I'm
probably that's always the lamest shit with the games like that, where it's like, here's how you move the camera, turn the stick. It's like, I fucking have played a video game before. I know how to do this.
It's well past that in terms of the tutorial. You're actually teaching, how the different Sims can do stuff and do stuff out of the house, how to take vacation days from work.
Okay.
Because I haven't played The Sims since Sims 1, so if it was a day, you had to work. You could not go to work one day and then get mad, but as long as you went the next day, you didn't lose your job. But in this case, there are days of the week. So my current Sims career is Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I'm off Saturday, Sunday, but one of the aspirations is I have to take a vacation day. I have 4 vacation days to use, and I can't use them. And then I have to go out to a community event that's outside of my home window, and that's something I have to do from the phone icon too. Apparently, it's not an issue just with the PlayStation version, because I did a search on Google, and it's been plaguing people even on the PC version since 2017. But it looks like it's not that distinguishable from the PC version. It is basically the same game, and I think you can play it keyboard and mouse on a console.
It's really interesting. Like,
also, it's free on Origin right now too.
Yeah, you mentioned the Sims 1.
Yes.
You can't play that now, and it's fucking infuriating. Like, you can't play the Sims 1 on PC. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have like an Origin, like download the old game and play. Because I want to play some Sims 1. I put fucking hundreds of hours into that fucking game when I was, a kid. I loved Sims 1.
Hey, John?
Yeah?
Talk to me after the podcast.
No. You can play Sims 1. I have the fucking discs here.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways to play it, but it is broke as fuck on normal computers now. Like, because it's like Windows 95 compatibility. You gotta like fuck around to get it to work. And it's like, just give me a version that works, man. Like, I am in on that. Give me that. McDonald's Israel has Pokemon toys right now.
Oh, nice.
I found. Wait, what? Okay, McDonald's Israel. One of the Happy Meal toys you can get is a book, a children's book.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
Sims 1, they did release The Sims for consoles after the release of the PC version, but it was functionally a different game.
Yeah, it wasn't the same game.
It wasn't the same game. There was some free play you could do that was really cool at the time, split screen 2-player, but most of the game was like a mission-based game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like the...
I had it on PS2.
Yeah, that was the it was not like a simulation game. It was much more of a like social RPG action game kind of thing. Not the same. Remember The Sims Online?
I never played it.
The MMO?
I
never played that either. All right, so time to look up Sim. Okay, Matt, I know you've been way into World of Warcraft lately, but I bet there's some Sims Online servers that exist.
I don't remember ever hearing about this.
Okay.
I do.
You don't remember The Sims Online?
No.
From 2002.
I think the closest thing that we have to it that's...
So The Sims Online was very much like the original The Sims, but you were like online and you would interact with other people and you would do a job in The Sims Online and like...
Was this like riding the Second Life wave?
It was a little Second Life-y, yeah. But it was... yeah, you could become like a real estate agent and like sell plots to other players. You would like go in and be like a coffee barista and earn points. Or I remember specifically you would like work at a factory where multiple people would come in and you would each have to like hit buttons to like make a thing and you would all get paid at the end of your shift.
There were 4 official jobs available in The Sims Online: restaurant, robot factory, DJ, and dancing.
Robot factory is the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Then they added user custom content later in an update, so that was and then they rebranded it to EA Land in 2007. The game was out for 5 years. That's the thing with MMOs, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you have only a dedicated player base of a couple thousand people, if they're paying $10 a month, that's enough to like keep a couple developers paid to like keep it up and running, you know?
A couple servers, a couple game masters, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like that's how it is.
And a developer or 2 to
4 cities had special rules. Dragon's Cove was known as the hardcore city, as there were a number of harder game objectives to consider while playing there. For example, a sim would lose energy when traveling long distances, and the virtual cost for items were doubled. Betaville, Beta Cuckville,
that's just Reddit.
that was the city created for the purpose of testing new features. So that was that. Another was Test Center, where the player could never move out of the city. It was also... Test Center was here's the tutorial zone, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of info about this game. I wonder if someone's got to be running it. Oh, here we go. On January 6, 2017, a fan-made relaunch of The Sims Online was created by Rice Simpson. It's the website's called freeso.org.
Yeah, I saw some YouTube videos about FreeSO.
A majority of the original functions were re-implemented to include 3D functions with continual updates. Promise some of the existing changes have included category functions, whatever that is. FreeSO.com is definitely a site you can go on.
.org.
And they have a 3rd annual FreeSO Awards ceremony in a location in-game.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell my wife how to play this game. She's going to get like addicted to it.
So I've never played a Sims game.
What
objective is just like the whole gameplay
kill
thing
everybody
is like
gruesomely
make your sim not die or not depressed.
So it's like, hey Matt, remember how you live a life where you have to like pay for things and survive in like the world?
Mm-hmm.
But imagine that, but virtually. It's the same.
But I don't want to do that.
But you can have a cool house. Mm-hmm. Can you have a house with like a dragon statue in it? or like a cool pool, indoor pool. You can make that.
I'm seeing a picture of a sim wearing an Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
Matt, you
that's
still have
probably
your
in Sims 4.
PS4, right?
What?
Yeah.
You still have your PS4 and you don't use it.
Yeah,
Just
it's
get
in the
back on PlayStation
closet.
Plus.
If you have PlayStation Plus right now, you
get it for free.
You can play Sims 4 for free.
I don't have. I stopped that subscription because I just wasn't playing the games.
I probably should stop that subscription too because I never play my PlayStation 4.
I just play WoW. That's the only
same.
video game.
Except for now, I've transitioned to playing a lot more retail WoW. I've become.
Nobody's perfect.
When you guys feel like going back or trying out Dauntless, let me know and I'll jump back in.
I actually started it up on the Switch.
Nice.
But I played like the tutorial basically and got to the main city. The speaking of World of Warcraft Classic, we'll just talk about it for a little bit. I'm at a point where I'm kind of burnt out on the game because there's like nothing to do in between raids basically now.
Yeah.
Because my character's like kitted out and there's nothing I can really gain from going
John,
to
you
a
spend
non-raid
that
instance.
time saving up gold to buy your consumables for the next raid.
You know what? I'm skipping the raid tomorrow, so I will have all my consumables for next week. I know, right? I'm worried about that. I'm not worried about that because DPS warriors are in short supply and we're extremely necessary because most horde raids have like 7 or 8 because we do insane DPS. Oh man, that raid last week, baby, I was topping them DPS charts and I was feeling good. And it's like, dude, warriors are such easy mode in the game. So I level a warrior.
Not for leveling.
Not for leveling. That's why there's such a desire for them because nobody likes to level them because it takes fucking forever to level a warrior because you have no self-healing. You just get pull 2 mobs, you die. You know, you have no CC. Unless
you do the entire leveling duo with a healer.
Yes. That's the way to do it. And I did a lot of leveling with Spanky.
Yeah.
As a healer, but then he stopped playing when I was around level 45, and going from 45 to 60 on a PvP server as a warrior was fucking rough because it's a warrior one-on-one, even though it's like the plate class or the big sword, they're scary, easy to kill because they can't get out of your like sheep or your crowd control or your slowing effects or your dots. They just got nothing to combat it unless you're like an engineering like fucking PvP spec god. It's still difficult though. So yeah, I don't know. I hopefully don't get benched, but whatever. If I get benched, that's what happens. But I'll keep showing up. But the just to say that the new raid tier is coming out next week. So
okay,
that will be. I think it's not at the reset. It'll be Thursday. I think it's the 13th is when it was set. So we'll probably be raiding Blackwing Lair next Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, so the plan is to do it both days and then try and fit Oni in at the end of Monday.
Oh, so we're not even going to do Molten Core?
No, I think we're taking a break from Molten Core for a while.
Really? We need to keep running it, though, because there's Tier 2 and stuff in there, as well as...
I guess. Well, does Blackwing Lair, is it gonna like take 2 days to finish it? Is that why they're saying that?
No, I mean, okay. So this is the part that I'm excited to play. Maybe we'll talk about this for just a bit. So to finish our 5 minutes of WoW. So we're about to move into a thing I like to call progression rating, which is where you don't have login. Everyone's like ready to go, run through the instance, basically never wipe, kill everything, get all the loot, log off. That is on farm status, basically is what they call that. We are moving to a new instance where everyone won't know how the fights work very well. I would suggest watching some videos on how the mechanics works for each fight. Luckily, as DPS, especially range DPS, your fight mechanics will be stand where all the other range DPS are standing and kill the thing. For melee, it's more like, okay, you got to position yourself here, like do that stuff. You got to run out of certain things. It's a little bit more complicated. Blackwing Lair isn't that bad in terms of mechanics. So I think we're good there. The first real stopping point for our guild will probably be an AQ. There's a boss in AQ named Huhuran, Princess Huhuran. She is a mob that does raid-wide, slowly ticking nature damage. and there are no nature damage reduction consumables really. So basically everyone has to go out and get the of the nature resistance items that are very rare, basically green items for that one fight. So that becomes a gear check fight. So that'll probably be a stopping point. But I don't think that Black Moon Lair is going to be a big deal for us. It'll just be learning, and it'll probably take the first week, definitely both nights, to get through the whole thing. Because it's just got to learn all the fights. I think after, and this is my experience having raided Molten Core and Blackwing Lair on a guild, is that it'll be Monday night will be Molten Core Ani, Tuesday night will be Blackwing Lair, and you can finish it all in the 3 hours that we have for our raid. So
you mean Sunday and Monday?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, Sunday, Monday. So it'll just be one night will be that, one night will be that, and then once we get AQ out, which is the third raid tier or the third raid. It'll probably, because that'll also, Zul'Gurub will come out too, and that's a 20-man. And we'll probably just have an off night for if 20 people want to get together and run it. Or we'll split the raid into 2 and just run that. And then it'll just be kind of picking and choosing what raids we do each week. And so we'll probably do Molten Core maybe every other week, or we'll host guild run pugs. So our guild members can still get a chance to roll on stuff that we need. Cause I still need the Onslaught Girdle.
Yeah,
from Molten Core.
I need that sweet ring of power.
And I could use a quick strike ring. But other than that, I'm pretty much geared out. I could get my Wrath set just for having a tanking set for when I need to tank. But it's we're getting to the point. And we'll still want to run Molten Core for the bindings, because our main tank still doesn't have Thunder Fury bindings.
Oh yeah.
We still haven't dropped for us. So that there'll always be a reason to run Molten Core until we get Thunder Fury. Because Thunder Fury is kind of necessary to tank the later instances, because it's one of those items that changes the way your class works, because it gives the tank an AoE threat generation ability. Because the way that Thunder Fury works, which is a legendary item, it's the coolest fucking item in World of Warcraft Classic. It's a cool lightning sword that you have to kill raid boss that you summon to get his sword. He's he and Ragnaros are opposing forces basically to elemental lords. There's a fire and he's the wind. And his sword, when you hit things, it has a chance to proc and then shoot lightning to everyone nearby. So it's a way you can AoE tank actually and keep aggro on multiple targets, because you're just zapping everything around you. And it has a stun effect too that it does. It's fucking amazing. It's such a good weapon. And I'm sure our main tank will get it when it drops. But so that'll be what'll happen. We'll probably not do Molten Core for a couple weeks until we get everyone Blackwing Lair we get down, because I think we got good enough gear to do it as a group, because we're doing pretty well on killing Rag. It'll just be learning the fights. So there'll be lots of wipes. There'll be a lot of repair bills, but that's the fun part of WoW, the progression rating, where you're working with the group of 40 people and trying fights and dying multiple times and then finally getting it and just being excited that you did it. Whereas our current Molten Core is just everyone's just fucking around basically.
Yeah.
Cause it's just, oh, okay, here's the fight. Do DPS for 30 seconds. Okay. Boss is dead. Move on to the next one.
Yeah. This last week I just kind of zoned out, and that was the first week I got their Spotify DJ booth working. So I was just rocking out to tunes, and everything else was autopilot.
Yeah. Yep. So
WoW's great. Blizzard has literally done nothing wrong ever.
Oh my god. Anyway, World of Warcraft, we're having a good old time playing that, and I'm starting to understand the burnout of Classic. It's kind of what happened to me back in the day. Once we had Molten Core, but Black Moon Lair will be out, and that'll be exciting because there's lots of good shit in there, and it'll be completely new stuff to do. But the problem with the difference between retail and Classic is in retail, you get to max. You do your one raid a week. The only alternative Classic is just leveling alts or doing PvP, because you can't get any gear out of any of the instances, really. In retail, you can level alts, you can go do pet battles, you can do daily world quests. There's always something to be going for, a new mount or something that you want, or all these weird things. So that's probably the difference, is that there's just so much to do at the top. But yeah, the problems with retail still exist of the fact that it doesn't feel like you're playing a multiplayer game. You know what I mean? The only way I've been having fun playing retail is that Spanky and I have been playing it together, leveling characters. So that's been fun. Like going through duo with somebody is fun.
Yeah.
Just like it is with classic. But in classic, it's like you actually have to like interact with other players to do things. Whereas retail, you just steamroll everything with solo because they built it like streamlined solo experience. And when you do instances, you just queue and you pop in, and the tank just AoE gets all threat. The healer heals the tank, and then you just burn through an instance in about like 20 minutes because everyone has them down. It's a different experience for sure, but I don't know. I like it too. All right, that's our WoW minute.
So I'm gonna kind of finish up and round out this this gaming. I have a tiny bit of
You have a tiny
weird gaming news.
What's that?
So there's an official club on the Xbox app and on the Xbox website for Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5.
Okay.
And it's listed. There's a link to the store page that says not available yet. But it's listed as release date of 2/18, which means coming up 10 days from today. So,
what is Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5? Don't I already have that on PS4?
Yeah, this is for Xbox.
Wait, so they didn't put that on Xbox?
No, they've only put Kingdom Hearts 3 on Xbox, and that's it.
What the fuck is going on? Why?
They're finally going back and getting the old ones on the Xbox.
That's just weird.
I think if it hasn't already come out yet, now they did Kingdom Hearts The Story So Far for PS4, which is 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 in the same box. Now they're coming out with Kingdom Hearts The Complete Collection for PS4, which is 1.5, 2.5, 2.8,
and 3.
And 3, but not the DLC.
Well, you know, it's not the complete collection, then. It is the mostly complete collection. Although I heard the DLC sucked.
Yeah, but I've been putting the memes from the whatever data greeting mode.
Yeah, there's like a selfie mode in it now, right?
There's been a selfie mode for a bit, but this now lets you position any of the models in the game.
Oh, so you can just fucking make scenes.
Yes.
That's kind of fun.
Make scenes, make memes, and you can make because in Kingdom Hearts 3 they have kind of like a fake Instagram that the characters have posted stuff that you can see on the loading screens.
Yeah.
Well, people have been making fake of those now.
Okay.
With a picture that they've made in the data greeting mode. Yeah.
Can I make Goofy fuck?
You can make him safe. Yuck.
Hell yeah. Goofy fucks, boys.
But spoiler alert, in Kingdom Hearts 2, Goofy dies for a bit. Like, legitly dies.
So, Kingdom Hearts 2...
Do they rip his spinal cord out?
I wish.
Or does he just accidentally eat some chocolate?
So, Kingdom Hearts 2 is really just anime.
Yeah, it is. It's just anime.
Because that's like Goku. Goku dies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. Well, that's good.
But whatever you do, don't achievement hunt in Kingdom Hearts. It takes forever, and don't do it.
It's okay. I wasn't going to.
Anywho.
What's everyone's life? Matt, what's going on?
Building a robot that plays the drums.
Yeah, I saw his bass drum kicking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. You're on Insta.
I'm on Insta. That post has like 24 heart likes. So
I gave him a heart on a couple of them.
I'm a big deal.
So you're going to be an Instagram influencer, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, an Insta-fluencer.
Okay.
A robo.
Is that your next career choice?
Yeah.
You're going to be an Instagram influencer?
Yeah. It's already on my resume.
Or does your robot have cleavage?
I could actually, if I gave the robot cleavage, I think that would be the best for trying to
Wouldn't that break TOS?
No, not really.
No.
So you can have
I follow a cyberpunk subreddit that's like lots of cyberpunk art, and it turns out all you need for something to be cyberpunk is just a hot chick, but she's part robot. So I think if I could tap into that market, Yeah,
Okay.
I think I could do that.
Sounds good. Let's do it. So I'd watch that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about something, boys. Let's see. What is TJ? What are you playing Sims for? Weird gaming news.
Yep, there we got
I've
it.
been watching My Hero. Matt, you've been watching The Simpsons. What's going on there?
Yeah. Okay.
What's this?
Have you heard of The Simpsons?
So I remember as a child, I had a friend that wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons.
Yes.
I was. But that was too hardcore for this 12.
Yeah, that's funny. That was considered like racy.
Yeah, The Simpsons. Like the show you watch now and is 100% not racy in the least. But it is, I think it's more, there are adult themes.
Yeah.
Like
well,
the
and part
adults
of it was
do
just like
adult things.
it was a cartoon and people
say
just
hell.
hadn't seen a cartoon
say
that wasn't
damn.
for kids.
Sometimes. Yeah.
And they have a
What was,
bloody
like-
fake cartoon on the cartoon.
Yeah. Like South Park was the cartoon you shouldn't let your kids watch. That's, you know what I mean? They're swearing, they're talking about anal probes.
What are you talking about? I used to watch Duckman.
I used to
You were
watch
saying that.
Duckman as well with Jason Alexander.
Yeah,
I like that show.
I
He
missed
was
that
the
show.
He was the Duckman. Yeah, it was basically BoJack Horseman, but a duck instead.
So
And he
I
was a private
started.
detective.
I've been watching The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
Oh, so you're watching it terribly.
The shitty crop version. But I started around season 4, I think. And
Here's my advice as a Simpsons. I have seen every episode probably like 10 or 15 times because it's like my favorite show. Season 3 is the good starting point. Season 2's got some, but 3 actually has enough good episodes in it to be worthwhile. 4 is good though. 4 is traditional. 4 is like this is where it starts getting amazing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are like the best seasons. 9 is pretty good, but it's the quality starts to get iffy in 9. And then 10 has got some good stuff, but it's starting to get iffy. 11 has probably got a couple episodes worth watching, and then after that is kind of when most of the original writing staff is gone.
have you seen any of the more recent stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
it is not good.
Really? I would differ because the quality definitely like
Sometimes
waxes and wanes.
they're good. Yes,
But
I have watched new episodes that were good.
yeah, I think I don't know.
The problem I have with New Simpsons,
The
is
quality
that it
seems very consistent to me. Just having
It
marathoned all of this.
It seems like the newer Simpson seasons, each episode is what celebrity can play themselves in this episode. That's the episode. Every episode has like a celebrity guest doing a voice now. And it's like too much about that. Like they need to like, but there are good episodes that I've seen. Like there was another newer episode where like Patty and Selma were trying to date again, and it was really funny. It's like they got to get back to those grounded family sitcom stories, and those are good. And then you have the wacky characters. It seems like every episode in these new seasons is just some wacky conceit, and it's just too far. Like,
I guess I didn't really see much of a difference between what we generally consider like the golden age of the Simpsons and the newer stuff.
I mean, it's just vastly different. The people from the Simpsons went to do Futurama, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the first 4 or 5 seasons of Futurama have a lot of that original Simpsons feeling to them. That's just my thoughts, man. That's my thoughts.
Well, your thoughts are wrong. No, I'd still say they're all the newer stuff is definitely worth watching. It does seem
I'm not
like
going to say it's bad,
right.
I'm just saying
where you were
different.
talking about like season 9 and 10 and stuff. I think that's the low point. I think it comes back up a little bit from there. So
Wait,
you can power through.
Are you talking about the new season of The Simpsons where they have AOC and all of the Democrats like beat up Trump in like a thing? Because it's so cringy, some of the stuff they do.
I
new
haven't
seasons.
seen. I'm only on season 29, which I think is last year was like season
Yes.
30.
I think the other thing too is that like the Simpsons couch gags are like 20 minutes long now.
Yeah.
Like, and they're just like, oh, they're trying to be like trendy with them, I think.
But I like when I really get like a guest animator on. Like the Rick and Morty one was funny.
Yes, I have like the
Adventure
guest
Time one.
Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a different show. Like it's
John. Things aren't the way they used to be.
I am 100%. You are just, sir. You are so completely different than everyone that likes the Simpsons.
Old John yells at Cloud.
Old man yells at Cloud. That's a Simpsons thing, actually. Mm-hmm. But
everyone's yelling at Cloud because Final Fantasy VII remake got pushed back.
Yeah, I definitely the older ones that I watched growing up definitely hit harder, but like they hit the nostalgia button, and just that like the style like slowly changes and the animation like, gets more computery and cleaner, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But I think like honestly, I think what makes season 4 through like 8ish the best is mostly nostalgia.
It's you're so wrong. It's just better. Like the writing is better. There's a lot more sight gags. It's just a different feel. It's much more sitcom-y than it is now. I will say though that the best episodes of the new seasons of The Simpsons are the ones without the celebrity guests. Let's see here. We've got. I'll count episode 29 or season 29. Let's talk about. Okay, so we'll say the last episode of the season has Rabbi Kristofsky, Jackie Mason. That's fine. He's a returning character from the first few seasons. Here's the problems I have most with The Simpsons now. There's a lot of cast members that are dying.
Yeah,
and you're starting to lose some very important, like Mrs. Krabappel is gone.
Yeah,
you know, Marsha Wallace passed away,
and they just kind of don't address it. Like,
no, it says right here that there was a episode where Marsha Wallace as Edna Krabappel was in the episode via archive recording.
Yeah,
which
and then at the end they just kind of like had a shot of Ned with like the black armband that says "I'm a widower" and being sad. But then they're never like, and here's Bart's new teacher. Like there's one episode where they bring in a teacher as like a plot point, but that they just kind of stop showing Bart's class.
Yeah. I mean, here actually some of the other thing that is funny too is that the sitcom tropes are like, and this is a problem I have with a lot of sitcoms, specifically badly written ones, like Orange is the New Black turns into this in later seasons. And though that's kind of a dramedy show, is where they start to flesh out side characters to a point where I don't give a fuck about some of their backstories. Like, let's do a whole episode about Mo Sislak's family. Like, did I need that?
Did
like,
that happen? I don't remember that one.
Ray Liotta plays Mo's father. Like, it's just why? I'm just looking through this previous season, or the season 29. We have, let me count the episodes. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Oh wait, no, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes out of 21 that don't have celebrity voices in them, that aren't characters that are recurring. I'll give 29 props because it brought back Krusty's dad from like season 3. It brought back Glenn Close's Homer's mom, Mona Simpson, and that was actually written by Bill Odenkirk, was one of the people from way back in the day.
Yeah.
It sounds like there are some good episodes in here, though. But it looks like the best episodes, and other Bill Odenkirk episodes, are the ones where it's just the characters doing stuff. It just always seems like the episodes are now like, let's have the Simpsons do this new trendy thing that's in the news, and it's like, just make a good like you can
Homer eats Tide Pods.
Yeah, you can make Homer eats Tide Pods. There it is. There's the episode title.
I'm surprised that didn't happen. Unless if I slept through it.
It's like it's episode 4. Oh, it's a Treehouse of Horror. Never mind. I was like, has Neil Gaiman and all these. It's like, okay, no, that's Treehouse of Horror. They're doing. You can have celebrities in that. That's fun.
No, there was Neil Gaiman was in one of the regular episodes too.
Oh, okay.
Homer like tries to write a young adult fiction book.
Yeah.
That one definitely was like shoehorned in.
Yeah, it's. But you know what the crazy part about the show is? It's still getting like 8-9 million people watching it a week, which is so much for a show. Like, who's watching this? Matt's watching this, I guess.
I'm watching,
job,
but I wouldn't watch it if it wasn't on
Disney
Disney
Plus?
Plus. Yeah. So like, I wonder if it's getting like a bunch of people like me that are just like start watching at their favorite seasons and then just kind of keep going because inertia is easy.
Yeah, season 31 is the latest season, it looks like. Yeah, the fall 2019 into this year. They're on 31. It's just like, yeah, they got, look at this. We've got, oh, okay, never mind. I was like, Todd, why hast thou forsaken me, from December of last year. Ned Flanders shows Todd some old home movies when he learns his son can't remember his mother's face anymore. What the fuck? What is Simpsons is this? Like,
There's also,
I mean, it could be good.
There's that illustrates a really weird like time warp thing that happens with The Simpsons, because it'll be like, oh, your mother died years ago, but we're all the same age.
Yeah.
There's just like, okay, like there's an episode coming up next weekend that is John Legend as himself, Chrissy Teigen as herself, and Zach Woods as the character Zane. Like, why? Why do you have 3 celebrities in one episode? It's just, like, oh, Bart the bad guy. Kevin Feige plays Chinos. Wonder if it's like Thanos, guys. You get that reference?
Oh, because he had a chin. They couldn't even get Brolin.
That's the problem I have with this, is that sometimes there's good stuff. Like there's a Sideshow Bob episode from this last season. That sounds fun. But then sometimes it's like, just like, why? Why is there this like weird ass like fucking conceits that happen in some of these episodes? Like, just do fun.
It's also wild how many episodes there are that involve Homer desperately trying to save their marriage. Like, after a while, it gets to the point where it's just like, maybe you should not be together.
You are a terrible husband. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give some credit to the show. I mean, it's not like it's all bad now. I think people definitely get on the side of the fence like, oh, it's trash after season 10. And it's like, no, it's just that you have to realize like seasons like 4 through 9 was an incredible group of really talented comedy writers all together. And then they all kind of went off to go do their own projects. And then they got a bunch of new voices in, which are still funny, but it just feels different. It's a different type of show. Yeah. And it can still be very funny. Like there's still great, physical humor and stuff. Like the Simpsons movie was good. Like I like the Simpsons movie, and that was way after the prime of the Simpsons, which is kind of weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the
that
property
movie
of the Simpsons
came out
it's like,
so
how do you
late.
not do how do you not do a Simpsons movie in like 96, 97? Like,
I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's worth watching. Is it on Disney Plus? Maybe, probably not.
I haven't checked. I would assume so because it's a Fox movie.
Yeah, it's some weird stuff on Disney Plus.
There's a lot of like stuff that they can't have on because of pre-existing contracts right now. Like a lot of the Fox movies still are in agreements with like Netflix.
And there's a lot of Disney movies that are on Netflix because they had a deal, and Marvel stuff on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw Captain Marvel.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you like it?
It's kind of boring.
Yeah. That's a little dull.
I liked. If you made a movie that was the middle of that with Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson going around being like buddy cops, watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then they get to the point where it's like, okay, you're a space super person, go do cool super space stuff. And it was just like, this is boring now. And like having a character who doesn't remember her own backstory is on like kind of the amnesia device is not an interesting one. And it makes you just like, because whenever you do writing where you have an amnesia plot device, it's annoying because the viewer always knows more than the characters.
Yeah.
You're always just like, fucking figure it out.
Especially,
know. Why
like,
do you not know?
with the Marvel stuff, like with Guardians of the Galaxy, you know the Kree are assholes.
Yeah.
So like you know that they're not. There's gonna be a twist somewhere.
I had forgotten at this point, except for the point when in that movie when Ronan the Accuser shows up and he's talking to them, and you're like, wait, no, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they're the bad guys. I just assumed they turned bad later, but turns out they were bad all along. That's kind of a lame conceit as well. I will tell you that I was writing like lame ass fantasy novel stuff back when I was like in late high school, early college. And it definitely a plot line of one of those was, well, actually, we're the bad guys. Is like kind of like a that's a really cheap conceit, I guess. Story wise, I mean they're action movies, you know, like they're fine. I mean that gets like a 3 stars for me.
Yeah,
like
I guess you're setting this in the 90s intentionally.
That was fun.
So
that
like
was cool.
Spend more time there. Don't just fuck off to outer space.
Yeah. That was one of the fun things about Thor, the first Thor, which isn't a perfect movie, but it's like, hey, Thor is like trapped on Earth. And it's funny because he's Thor and he's on Earth, but then they stay on Earth for the whole plot of the movie. It's not like, it's like, oh, you know, that's where the climax happens. And then he goes off, you know, and that's like that. But I don't know. I wish
Are there any plans to make more Captain Marvel stuff?
I would assume.
I assume actually,
well.
if they do, it would probably just take place after like the most recent movies, rather than
I
being
think
in the 90s again.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be like a new, like, hey, we're making a new, you know, we're doing the new like Phase 2 Marvel stuff, which is like I don't give a fuck about Marvel. Like, I've slowly not. I mean, the movies are very. It's like I haven't seen the new Star Wars. I don't think I'm going to see that in theaters. I just don't have a desire.
Yeah.
Like I liked The Last Jedi and I didn't at first, but I rewatched a couple times and I really grew to like it more based on like understanding of what it was trying to do. And to hear that J.J. Abrams is just basically like, no, fuck all that. Like we're going to do our own thing. Like not having Rose Tico in, who I love as a character, and she's barely in the new movie. It's like, why? It bothers me too when John Boyega talks about how he was mad that the whole gang was split up from the first movie in fucking episode 2 or in Last Jedi. And it's like, have you fucking seen Empire Strikes Back? Luke is gone the whole fucking movie doing his own hero's quest. It's like, this is core to what Star Wars is having all the people like split off and do their own thing. Fucking Return of the Jedi, they're split up from each other through the whole movie basically, and then they get together at the end.
The Rise of Skywalker, the only reason I would suggest seeing it in theaters is if you really want to take advantage of the like beautiful scenery that they've come up with, because visually it is really striking.
I have seen some images from it. I watched a bunch of actually earlier today YouTube videos of like VFX, like people talking about the nominees for this year's visual effects Oscars. And this will come out after the Oscars. So
we won.
Congrats on Parasite for winning Best Picture.
Congratulations to La La Land.
But it was really interesting as they talked about like how each you should really look into like the VFX for this year, because like the guys like saying this year is such an exciting year for VFX because this is a year when you have like 5 different nominated movies, each doing their own different special VFX technology. Because, you know, you have Avengers Endgame, which has a bunch of like CG human actor characters like Thanos and like Smart Hulk and all that interacting with real characters and not looking Uncanny Valley-y. You know what I mean? Like you don't get creeped out. It's weird. And they talk about how they use like machine learning, and they put like fucking Brolin and what's his name? Mark Ruffalo in like the fucking camera cube, and they just had them do like 8 billion different facial reactions to everything, and then they feed that into a computer, and then they act with just like a couple dots, and then they use the computer like machine learning to like feed in the like all the pieces of their face they couldn't get because they do this like crazy like 10 terabyte of like images saved. And so like they have that, you know, you have the Irishman, which has the de-aging technology, which is actually super impressive the way that they did it. Because
Ruffalo.
There you
found
go.
it.
You got it. You were looking for something. But the Irishman is interesting because I didn't realize that they one of the big deals was Martin Scorsese didn't want it to be filmed like a VFX movie, because typically when you have a VFX movie you have to have specific camera moves that are tracked because you have to be able to put it in the
yeah theater. I've seen what they did with this.
So they built a special camera that has a regular camera and then 2 infrared cameras shooting infrared beams across everyone so they can get 3D renders of everyone's face.
And
so they could just
they put mocap dots on people's faces, right?
They didn't have
they
to.
were only visible for I think they put little infrared marks.
Possibly, yes. But it was all done via infrared. So it looks normal, and they have the footage of the people looking their regular age, and then they have a thing called a digital mask that they create that they can just put over their skin. And the guy said, you know, some people will actually complain about how the de-aging looked weird to them. And he says, to me, it didn't as a VFX artist. And the thing that was more weird to me was the fact that you could tell physically the way that people hold themselves. They don't look like a 20 or 30-year-old anymore. They still kind of walk like a 50-year-old. And the fact that it's their physicality that's putting it away and not the CG is a pretty big like leap in technology that you can do that. And I was like, that's really cool. 1917 was interesting because there's a lot of VFX being done to try and make it look like one cut, even though it was lots of cuts. It's meant to look like one long cut. And so there's lots of wizardry that you have to go through with the quick camera changes and things to make it look like it's that. So that's really interesting. Star Wars, of course, is interesting based on just the insane amount of CG done and the fact that they did some crazy shit to have Carrie Fisher back, albeit, you know, in a little weird, but to do that, to give her a final scene in a movie is interesting. So yeah, it's like all these different technologies, you know, some more traditionals than others. They talk about Star Wars, just ILM's got some crazy shit they're doing with like dust mapping and water effects and things that are just incredible. Like they talk about that fight where they're on like that sunken Star Destroyer. Like there's basically no water on set. There was just some splashing that happened, and they're like, but it doesn't look like that. You know, it looks like there's water washing, but that's all fake. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really crazy shit that each one's doing in that. I thought that was really cool. It was like kind of getting into how they did this, and that's such a like nerd technical award. Like we invented this new CG technology. Oh, and Lion King. Lion King one actually might impress me the most because of the thought. I mean, the Irishman one's actually really interesting because they talk about basically this is a big deal for actors that might not be able to be cast because of the way they look. But the idea is that you can use this special camera and just change a facial feature slightly. You know what I mean? So, or like you have an older actor who can't work anymore, you know, or somebody with somebody who had some sort of accident, or, you know what I mean? Like you can now just use this camera and fix that pretty easily with this technology. So that's really interesting. But the Lion King one is the most insane because that is 100% CG.
Yeah.
It's made to look real. And so the crazy way that was shot was they actually had like virtual sets that they built. And then they had camera rigs in this room set up like a camera rig, like you would have on set, but it was tied to like a virtual camera that shot the footage in the movie. And so they had like virtual cameramen walking around in scenes.
Okay, so
shots.
they had like physical cameras to record
Yes.
the movement, just so it seemed like a real camera
So
moving.
yes, because they said if you do it in CG, it won't look real because
Right.
you just
It just
have
looks
that
too
human
smooth,
move.
but then you can add like camera shake, but it still doesn't
It
look
doesn't
real.
look-
It's too like
Yeah.
consistent.
And so that is crazy to me of like, you can make now CG movies that's just a CG world. And then you pop in a virtual cameraman and they walk around with like their camera equipment, but it's just, tied to like a virtual camera in the world.
And you could put
they're wearing VR
VR
goggles.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Oh,
and they
really?
walked around. Yes, the directors, you can see shots of this where like Jon Favreau has got the virtual goggles on. He's on set virtually and he's looking at like all the things moving. And you can see them all just being like, can you get the camera to go this way for this shot? And that's like really fucking cool when you think about it. Like that's a really neat idea that we can just create a virtual set and use virtual cameramen. So it's like making a real feeling movie in a fake world instead of just having a green screen and having artists do everything. Yeah, that's really cool. Like that's a really neat idea. And yeah, so the VFX will be interesting. I don't know who will win. I'm excited for the Oscars though, because I really hope my favorite movies win. But we'll see. I saw The Irishman too, and
Nice.
Little Women, and Parasite. I saw a lot of the Best
Yeah.
Picture nominees.
I'm hoping Parasite will be on streaming pretty soon because I want to watch it.
It is
But it's hard
available
to find.
purchase on Amazon now digitally,
Okay.
but not to rent.
Okay.
We'll see. Parasite's incredible. It's the movie of the year, and it's probably the movie of the decade for me. It's hands down incredible, and I can't talk about it because it would ruin it.
Yeah. Don't ruin it for me, you jerk.
I won't ruin it, but I will say the plot is basically what the name of the movie is. You have a high-class family, and you have a low-class family. And the low-class family is like, how can we get some money from this high-class family? And like the son goes up and he's like, I'm a tutor. And I'll teach your daughter English. And he's like, hey, I know this lady who can teach art. And it's his sister, actually. And he gets her hired. And then it just kind of snowballs from there. But there's a lot that happens in the movie. That is just like the first like third of the plot. But I will say the movie is basically a complete indictment of the capitalist society that we live in. And it is awesome.
All right.
It reminds me very much of the sadness of like the entirety of, like what's that famous image
It's
of-
the same guy that did Snowpiercer, right?
Yes, but you know the image I'm talking about where the guy is like the one guy has like one Oreo and then the other guy has like 10 Oreos, and then the rich guy is just taking the Oreos away from the poor guy and the other guy, and he's pointing at the guy who has like 10 Oreos and is like, hey, this guy's got more than you while he takes everything. The whole idea of like these different capitalism classes playing off each other and like kind of and kind of fighting each other while like the rich just stay rich is kind of the plot of the movie. And it's incredible. And I can't get into too much detail because it's incredible because it's very much a thriller, horror, not really horror. It's just, it goes places. Things happen once that plot kicks off. And
That sounds great. Absolutely.
it's so good. It is so good. And it's his best movie and it should win. And it might win. It's, I think, the number 2 behind 1917, I think, in the Vegas odds, which is dumb to do odds on that.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I guess you have enough people voting that it's impossible to know
Yeah.
because the Academy pool is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Oh, apparently
so.
it is. You can rent Parasite on Amazon for $6.
Oh, you can now. Okay, you used to have to buy it like a week ago when I was looking at it. I'll probably just buy it on Blu-ray through Amazon so I can get the digital version and
Yeah.
the Blu-ray because it's like one of my favorite movies in a long time. So
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, oh shit, this is gonna win an Oscar, so we got to make sure it's available to rent to cash in on that.
And I think the thing I like most about Parasite is that there isn't like you think like okay they have this rich family. The rich family are not the villains.
It's that
The
dog.
villains.
It's that little
No.
white dog.
I'll tell you the and this I think Bong Joon-ho said in a
The villain society.
no, the villain is capitalism.
Yeah.
Is the villain of this movie. It's good. I guess it's building off of Snowpiercer in a way about like classism and things. So, but much less of a fantasy movie, much more like you could believe this being real.
So I've got a malicious compliance story. If we want to do that and then go right into your ships.
Yeah, let's do a malicious compliance. Let's do a ship and let's ship on out home.
The fuck are you assholes doing?
All right. My dad is a now retired police officer, which
Okay.
he did for 30 years. Over the years, he has worked patrol, undercover, as a detective, and as part of a DEA task force back in the 90s.
So he's a fucking narc.
Yep. About 5 years ago, he transferred to the local sheriff's department and once again returned to being a regular patrol officer. If you don't know or live outside the U.S., sheriffs are elected as part of the local elections. During the 2018 election, our local sheriff had reached the maximum terms he could serve, leading to an open election. The one who ended up winning was a person my dad was not the biggest fan of. Prior to his election, officers could have a mustache and goatee, as long as it is well kept and not too long. One of the first things that was changed was that facial hair policy. The new policy said facial hair could not be grown past the edge of your lips. But it forgot one piece of the original policy that was important: the length. So here's what my dad did to piss off the new boss. He started growing a handlebar mustache.
Hell yeah.
It didn't grow past his lips, but it was long enough that he could shape it with beard wax into a
Hell
handlebar.
yeah. I love it.
That was frankly huge.
Awesome.
The ends reached to his ears when he didn't put wax in it.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm loving it.
This policy change didn't just change my dad. Many of the officers had goatees and were already a bit annoyed with the new boss.
Of course, stop. Of course, the officers had goatees.
Yeah, of course.
And those
It's the
like
worst facial
those
hair.
wraparound sunglasses and stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bald, goatee, wraparound sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So about another 10 officers decided to join my dad in growing out handlebar mustaches as well. In a department of 25 officers, almost half were rocking handlebar stashes while going on patrol.
Stash cops.
Dude, if I got pulled over and the cop had a handlebar mustache, I would feel a little less upset about being pulled over.
Yeah. I would first I would be like, well, I'm definitely going to compliment this guy on his kick-ass mustache. And maybe he'll
Ask
give
him
me
for a ride.
lesser ticket than I would get, because I'd be like, dude, hell yeah. As a facial hair connoisseur, I love that. I could never do that because I can barely grow any facial
never grow any neat facial hair. So
I
I
just
must
do,
look
but
on.
I like the shaved look, which I probably shouldn't because
Yeah, but TJ, unfortunately, you have lighter colored hair, and that just doesn't work as well on facial hair. You have to get it
that is true.
big before you can see it. You know what I mean? It blends in. I luckily have dark enough hair that even though it doesn't grow in super thick, it's like dark enough to like cover up my face. So even though I can't grow any chin hair, I couldn't.
Yeah,
it's a bald patch right here.
I can actually get it if I don't shave for 3
I could
days,
never do one of those chin beard things, which
A
sucks.
soul
I can never
patch?
be an Egyptian god.
Oh,
But my
I have that huge chin.
my ASL has that, or my assistant store leader at my GameStop.
Okay.
Ooh, hiccups.
ASL.
Eventually, the new sheriff decided that the handlebar mustaches were getting out of hand and finally relented.
Out of handlebar.
He finally reinstated the old policy. My dad had grown this out for about 2 months, and I watched him quite literally cry when he shaved it.
Aw.
But he got his favorite facial hair to be allowed again.
Well, all's well that ends well. That's a nice story.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was a fun malicious compliance, even though it involved cops. Who would have thought a story on Reddit involving cops and malicious compliance would not be awful? A fun little facial hair story. Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, of course.
I got 2 to choose from. Well, let's do one of these. We've got one's more traditional and one's weirder.
Weird. Do weird.
I like the weird.
The weird one's really good, so this is one I was hoping for. The other one is more traditional bad relationship problems that are very interesting, and we'll go over it maybe next week, but this is very bizarre. This one, literally, the first one is, this one is really bizarre, is what the person says. So,
Okay.
my 36F husband, 41M, has some disturbing requests for after he's passed away.
Okay.
I want to give him props, too, for spelling passed away correctly and not typing P-A-S-T away. P-A-S-S-E-D away. This one's really bizarre, and I'm sorry ahead of time. My husband of 12 years has had some medical problems recently. The topic about end-of-life plans came up, and I asked if he wanted to be buried. He didn't want that, nor did he want to be cremated. My husband wants me to have his skull taken from his body and cleaned.
Oh, hell yeah.
He wants that skull put on the mantle in the living room. The rest of the body he wants sent to one of those places that makes gems out of bodies and make it into 2 blue diamonds. He wants those gems put in the eye socket of the skull to look like eyes. Then he can, quote, watch the family home and, quote, be passed down through the generations.
Mm-hmm.
My husband has always had a morbid / culturally insensitive sense of humor. As such, when he mentioned it before he was sick, I thought he was joking. Turns out he is not joking. He even asked me to do it so that our skulls and matching eye gems could stay above the fireplace together. I adamantly refused. I tried talking him, but he's firm that this is what he wants. I told him that it made me uncomfortable, but he said it was also for our kids to have. Uh-oh, TJ died.
No, you're fine. I'm just responding to something.
Oh, okay. For our kids to have, who are currently not old enough to weigh in on this discussion. I asked if this was his way of trying to live on with the family even after death, and he said, not really, no. I asked where he wanted the extra cremated remains from the gem company spread, and he told me he didn't want any remains, just have the biggest gems possible made and have the company dispose of the rest. I argued that he had no idea that if his children would want the literal skull of their father, further, which child would take the skull after I died? And in 2 or 3 generations, how would he feel if when his descendants just sold this bizarre human skull at a garage sale because it means nothing to them? And finally, how is he going to feel about the fact that I, in my grief and trying to process the loss of him, would likely never take that skull out of the box, much less have to live with him staring at me every time I saw him on the couch? He essentially wasn't worried or didn't care about any of it. And regarding not taking it out of the box, this is the only time he seemed upset. He told me that was what he wanted, and I'd be ignoring his final wishes. I told him he didn't have to live with those final wishes for years to come, but it didn't matter. Part of me wants to get over my feelings, but I can't. I want to cry thinking of someone hacking apart my husband and handing me his bones. And I feel anxiety over the thought of putting that skull with his blue eyes in my home until I die. I'm fine if he wants a burial. I'm fine with cremation, Viking funeral, that weird thing where they turn you into tree food, whatever. I'm even fine with the gems on their own. But this whole skull thing is really bothering me. He won't budge, and he isn't joking. At this point, I'm thinking I would just do a simple cremation after he passes and spread the ashes on our property, but that seems sneaky and dishonest. But there is absolutely no way that I can comfortably live with what he's asking if he passes away before me. What do I do, Reddit? TLDR, my husband wants his final resting place to be on our fireplace mantle in the form of his literal skull. This is to be complemented by 2 gems in the empty eye sockets made from his corpse. I'm deeply disturbed by this. Help.
So first of all, he missed the most important part, which is to hollow out the backside of the gems to put LED lights in.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
You
Yeah.
need glowing blue eyes. Oh,
You have to put a little speaker in the skull so that he can talk.
it's cool. It's really macabre. I get why she's uncomfortable. But now I kind of want to do that with myself.
Yeah, I want to do it too.
But I know it's expensive, so I won't.
So, like, my thought is if they have the money saved up to do this, it's kind of his wishes, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Give a man something. Maybe he can meet her halfway, you know?
I would say that
The skull is a lot.
maybe
like-
just
The
don't have it
actual
right.
physical bone from their body sitting out in the open.
Maybe don't have him right in the open. Maybe have him like in a corner somewhere and just
In the corner,
right in the fireplace.
The corner skull.
This is our corner skull.
Yeah. Oh my god.
With glowing beady lights.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd want done. I think that seems too far. I wanted to do that thing where they make you into a coral reef or something. That sounds fun.
I don't care what's done with my body. I just don't want it. I'd rather.
I want it to be like
cared
linen.
For. Well,
Yeah.
First of all, I don't want to deal with having my body, because embalming's super expensive. It doesn't really do anything. Much cheaper, and in most states, you can actually just care for your dead. You can wash your dead and then do whatever you want with it, as long as you've got the proper documentation. You weren't the one that killed them, and it's a good part in the grieving process because you are caring for this body as you're laying it to rest.
I like that the relationship.txt responded to their own tweet saying, "So the husband wants to be a demi-lich. So what?" It does sound like some necromancy stuff is going on.
Oh.
I would say red gems would be the best for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, I would go with super clear and then color changing LEDs. That would be cool. So,
I think I have no problem with this whole situation, and if she doesn't do it, then she's a jerk.
No, I understand her feelings though.
Yeah,
I get
but
that. It's very
feelings
macabre.
are dumb.
I wouldn't. Well, I get that too. But they're a part of being human.
I think where he's gone wrong is insisting that other people have to have this skull.
Wait a minute. I've got an update here. September 4th, 2019, Atlantic article. Under U.S. law, it's nearly impossible to get permission to decapitate and deflesh a relative's remains. So,
well, just don't do it in the States.
It sounds like you
have to ship the body.
Here we go. Back to, okay, is this person's talking about a question about, okay, this person's a mortician who's writing this article. Oh, it's Caitlin Doty, who I've seen do, she's written some mortician books that are really interesting and funny. Just kind of how it all works. So she's saying about the mom's head, she could create a written, signed, and dated document explicitly stating she wants to have her skull after she dies. It would be similar to the document people would sign if they want to donate their body to research. But even with that paperwork and the aforementioned head removal, the funeral home could not legally hand over a decapitated head because of something called the abuse of corpse laws. These laws vary from state to state, TJ, so maybe we can find a place. Mm-hmm. But if you treat but the law in Kentucky says if you're committing a corpse abuse, if you treat a dead body in any way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. That's a really weird law to try and enforce, though. Because you could definitely say, well, this family, because he's writing this document, would not be out of the ordinary. I mean, you could see a lawyer definitely arguing that. But I mean, is a funeral home going to fuck with that? And possibly get in trouble? Probably not.
Yeah, the hard part would be finding somebody to do it.
Abusive corpse laws exist for a reason. They protect people's bodies from being mistreated. Necrophilia. They also prevent a corpse from being snatched from a morgue and used for research or public exhibition without the dead person's actual consent. Our history is littered with many violations. Corpses being stolen and sold to medical without the consent. So the skull, where do skulls on bookcases come from? In the U.S., there is no federal law that prevents owning, buying, or selling human remains unless the remains are that of a Native American, which they have their own rules. Otherwise, you're able to sell or own human remains as decided by each individual state. At least 38 states have laws that should prevent the sale of human remains, but the laws are very vague and confusing and enforced and random. In a 7-month period in 2013 to 2014, 454 human skulls were listed on eBay. The average opening bid of just under $650. eBay has since banned this practice. Many skulls for private sale have questionable origins. sourced from thriving bone trades in India and China. Ooh. So that's not
a lot.
good.
Like a lot of the people in the bodies exhibit were just political prisoners.
Executed people that were executed. So yeah, it's here's what you were talking about, TJ. In every state, funeral homes are something called a burial and transit permit, which tells the state what's going to be done with the dead person's body. Some laws prohibit the remains being deposited anywhere that's not a cemetery. The options generally are just burial, cremation, donation to science. You got 3 options most of the time. So it sounds like you'd have to really look into the local legal regulations to see if you could even do this. So it's not even.
But there's also handling too.
Yeah,
you got to check state to state in terms of just if you are taking care of your own body, some states won't even let you do it.
Yeah, I do know that there have been instances where like somebody will, upon death, will their skull to a theater company so that it can become like the Yorick skull.
I think that probably could definitely.
Before.
Yeah, I was about to say that definitely legally probably could happen because you'd be technically like maybe donating your skull to a nonprofit organization, which is the theater company, probably. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like that could make sense. But even though it sounds like it's really difficult to get something like that off, I think I think the real option to this here is the compromise, which is like get a skull or like pendant necklace and then put two sapphires made from the human remains in the eye sockets of the necklace,
or
and
you
have
could
that
get
jewelry passed down.
You could get a skull X-ray and then have somebody 3D print that for you, and then put the jewels in that.
That's a really good idea, actually. Just get the jewels, because they can do that, because they just take the cremation and then do the crazy like shit they do to like make crystals out of the carbon.
Could you imagine like getting a full body X-ray and then just like 3D printing a replica of your skeleton? That'd be fucking
cool.
weird.
But that's actually a really good compromise, Matt. I like that. Because then it's not as morbid as the fact that it's the actual thing that was inside his body.
Or you get like 3D printer filament that's made out of cremains. It's got ashes. Man, that's going to happen. Oh, shit. Let's start a memorial 3D printing business. You can have a little duck made out of your loved one's ashes.
Yeah, so if you want to be a lich, you want to fuck with skulls and skeletons, you can't do it. Although I think we talked about this Wall Street Journal article a while ago, just saying that Disney World is a place where very, very many dead people's ashes have been scattered.
Yeah, specifically in the
haunted mansion.
And they're like, please stop doing that. Every time it happens, we have to close it down.
Yeah, they said this happens so often. I don't understand why you would do that, though, on a ride. That seems a bit much. Like, I would say if you wanted to do that, if I wanted that done, I would say just like get a vial and then like there's like a nice like bush area, like, just sprinkle it in the dirt on the lawn. You know what I mean? Like,
just have a special trash can for ashes.
They should. They could just have that.
Yeah.
Honestly, do you think they could have that? Like, because they have all that like crazy underground shit.
They should, and then they could use those to sprinkle over barf.
No, that's your final like remains. What's really interesting about that whole thing though is that they could just like, because like they use a lot of like cremains in the agriculture industry, but we're talking about like cattle,
animal stuff,
cremains used as fertilizer because there's a lot of phosphorus and other minerals in that could be used. So I'm just saying, if you want this Disney, here's my advice: set up a thing where you can have, because they want to make money. That's all what Disney wants.
Yeah.
Is set up a thing where you can have your remains donated to Disney, and then they just mix it in the fertilizer that they're going to put on all the plants and all the like beautiful gardens they have. Done. Just mix it in with the like stuff they spray on there. Done. And then you don't have to worry about people going in the haunted mansion and dumping a fucking urn in the chair and then someone has to fucking clean up ashes.
Yeah, but I think they do it in the mansion because they want like the ghost to join the imaginary ghosts that live there.
It does
So
look
you
like
would have to be like, oh, we'll specifically use this fertilizer around the haunted mansion.
Nah. That's dope as fuck, though. I
Just
do.
throw
I
me
do
in the
want,
fucking garbage.
Just throw me in the trash. I'm dead. I don't care.
I don't give a shit. Actually,
Honestly,
what I've thought about doing is donating myself to one of those body farms where they just like throw you in a field and study decomposition for like forensic data, and then I can be used to help solve crimes.
You know, the thing I want most to be done is a thing that I don't think can be done yet. Is I want them to like freeze the head, do that thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I can afford that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I was gonna say you could do it. You just have to have enough money to continue paying for the freezing, and also they don't know how to unfreeze you.
Yeah. Well, so I'm actually reading in a book right now.
I'd almost rather
about
have
this.
my body thrown into a vat of liquid amber, let that harden, and see if they could just Jurassic Park me out of that.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the book, Neil Stephenson's book Fall, or AKA Dodge in Hell, it's called. But the plot is it's a sequel to the book Reamdy that she did years ago, which is really good. But the whole plot of it is a character who dies, and then he wants to be cryonically preserved, and then they have like a brain scanning technology where they can like simulate your brain in like a computer program, and it's kind of about that, and like,
or you know what, just
like the ethics of what that becomes.
just San
Because, like-
Junipero me, just upload me to a server,
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing I want, and that's a thing that.
and it's going to be a WoW Classic server.
So the interesting thing is, oh man, dude, you don't want to be stuck to that.
Die in the game, die in real life, but you're already
San
dead.
Junipero is actually a really interesting thing because that is not even like a after death cryonics thing. That is a while alive consciousness transfer.
Yeah.
So I believe specifically you choose to go before you die, and then you
Yeah.
never come back. And so, because that is a thing that I think technically could make sense. Because when you think about it, how do you transfer consciousness from one being to another? Because what is that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is a whole
Like
deep
if
discussion.
you it's the whole like Ship of Theseus thing where
Well, I think I've talked about this on a previous episode because I read another sci-fi book where they talked about how they had a conceit of the idea is
old,
that you
old
just
man's war, right? Something like that.
yes, you just connect your brain to this virtual brain, and then your consciousness is in both at the same time.
And then you just shut off the meat
And then
brain.
you shut off the meat brain, and so then it's like having, each eye is connected to a different lobe, basically. You know what I mean? Like that kind of idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but like different pieces that connect to different lobes.
Yeah, it is, because
And
if
so
you get that procedure,
you shut one off, you put another one on in there, and then you turn this one off and you put that one on in there. It's like, oh, well, it's been one conscious connection this whole time. It's just, it went from two lobes to 4 lobes back to 2 lobes again.
Mhm.
And that's how I could see that actually happening. Dying and then having your brain simulated doesn't seem like a consciousness would transfer.
no.
When you think about what is consciousness,
Whoa,
because
man.
it disappears when we sleep. It's
Yep.
something. Have you ever thought you want to stay asleep and being fucking terrified?
Weed every day.
What if every time you sleep, your consciousness goes away forever, and you have a new consciousness that's born every time you awake
Yeah.
that has all of your old memories?
Every time
That's
you
like
wake
the,
up, you're a new person. The old person
Yep.
is completely dead. You just have all the memories.
Yep.
So you're dying
That's-
every night.
that's like the teleporter thought experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that you're moving from one place to another, but is that other person you, even though
Yeah.
it has the same memories as you and the same chemical composition as you and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting to think about too, is that consciousness isn't even like a thing, because
No.
there are animals that we know that don't have the same consciousness that we do, but they still have brains that are technically pretty similar. So, does our consciousness exist after we die? Why does it have to? You know what I mean? Like, what happens? What happens when we die?
Guys,
They're
can we
gonna
let's just solve this one real quick, and then we can end the podcast. What happens after we die?
Well, here's the real truth of it: is that what happens after we die is we don't die because we're in a simulation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
This
here's
is a simulation.
after you die, you can either spirit res or you have to run to your corpse.
That's true. You have to do the corpse run, which sometimes just sucks.
Before they
Just
take the corpse
spirit
away,
res,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, fuck it, I'll take the res sickness.
Yeah.
I'll repair my shit. It doesn't
Yeah, it's
matter.
only like 10 minutes. I'll go take a
wait.
bathroom break, get a glass of water.
What are you talking about? We're in retail. There's no red sickness anymore.
There's no
No.
res sickness in retail?
No.
Matt, I want to
Damn,
talk to you for about
fucking
retail.
snowflakes.
I'll tell you about retail for a minute. I've been playing retail again for about 2 weeks, and I have yet to die. You just don't die.
It's
You're
just-
too good.
It's just a bunch of snowflakey participation trophy. Wow.
I'll tell you this, Matt.
Back in my day,
Is there retail durability? I keep forgetting if there is.
I don't think so. No, there is. There is.
It's
okay.
just not as.
I will tell you this, Matt. Retail, leveling, easy. Early dungeons, easy. Doing the mythic plus, heroic raids, that is fucking hard shit. And it's just as hard as classic, if not more so. And I was talking to Spanky about this before the podcast, and the difference is the hardness of classic is the difficulty of resource gathering and getting people together. The difficulty in retail is being able to execute extremely proficiently in the different things you need to do, because the raid encounters become extremely complex and difficult. In retail, like the raid encounters are just like, you think, oh, okay, the Ragnaros, like everyone stand this far apart, do that. That is like one thing you're doing with like 6 other things that you're doing in each raid boss. And so they become way more about like everybody doing this really intense technical like thing as you know, and whereas the gear necessary is part of it, but not quite the same amount necessary as in classic. I mean, it is actually necessary because gear checks are a real thing. But the idea is much less of, can I farm this instance enough to get good enough gear to do this? But because, you know, it's much easier to obtain gear in retail, but is it, can I actually do these complicated encounters in sequence with 10 or with 9 or I think 25? It's 10 and 25 man are the 2 splits. So
Yeah, I think
9
10,
or
20.
24 more people at the same time. Like, no, it's difficult. Like, it's hard. Yeah. Which is fun. And it's got the same fun that raids do. And wow, and you get that same fucking rush when you get a fucking item drop. The nice thing too is that it's personal loot in retail. So you just get your own roll every time it dies. And then sometimes something will drop for you and sometimes it won't. Which is nice. There's no loot drama. Which is kind of fun in a way. People bitching about not getting something they wanted.
yeah. And then
Save up your
somebody gets
DKP,
benched
bitch.
for one raid and rage quits the guild.
Oh, dude, that happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, dude, I kind of get it.
I guess
Because some of the rogues that were in that raid fucking suck compared to him. But you have to sign up on the Discord. It's been a thing, dude. Like, you
also
didn't
like
sign up.
don't rage quit. Just like, okay, think maybe I'm gonna quit now. See if you can find another guild that raids
Yeah.
regularly.
Well, it's just like, dude, you're gonna miss 1 week, you know, and then sign up for the raid next week, and you're going to get a place instead of the other people because they're lower parsing than you.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just the
funny.
way.
I
It's
love.
just the way.
I just love when people do self-destructive shit like that.
I know.
Like,
It's
I'm
actually
angry
been-
now. I don't think about consequences. Blah.
Yeah, it's been pretty. Yeah, he like yelled on Discord too. It was great.
Yeah.
He was angry. We could hear him yelling. He was like, "You're gonna take these guys over me. I've been here since the first week." And then he quit the Discord channel, and then quit the guild. And I was like, "Whoa!" And I think he had some IRL friends that are still in
Yeah.
the guild.
He was friends with at least one dude.
Yeah, and this was like, ooh, that's weird. Like, why would you G quit over that? Like, we're in a rocky space right now because there's still some drop off of players that's happening.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't want to quit a guild that seems to have, like, ours, a pretty decent core of competent players.
Yeah.
Like,
just
why would
just
you
like
wanna leave
trying to
that?
start over again in a fresh guild.
Like, everyone else
Sounds
that's been
like
in our guild.
Awful to me.
Yeah. Well, like, everyone else in our guild that's left has just been like, you know, like, has been like, hey, you know what? This raid night time doesn't work for me. So I'm going to join this other guild that raids at a time that's better for me. Thanks for all the opportunities. We've had fun. And that's like, yeah, I get that. Like, you know, you can't make the times. It doesn't work for your schedule.
You
Join
shouldn't
another
do the
guild.
crimes.
Yeah. And that's fine. But, like, going fucking insane and quitting is like, yeah. Whatever, dude. Fucking rage quit. Wow, virtual club. Anyway, I think it's funny. I'm looking at like our server, like guild recruitment too, just to see like what's popping off, like who needs what.
Yeah.
I'm level 30.
I finally bitch slapped that other shadow priest back to holy or whatever else he does. Fuck you.
You did just good enough to not like
Yeah.
to get failed. Looks like healers are the big thing right now. Resto shamans. This fucking guild is named Classic Raiders. Like, what? Who names their guild that?
You gotta get
That's
you
like-
gotta get Spanky attuned so you can join.
I want to
us.
name my guild Video Game Player. Like, what?
The website is bornintheeighties.net.
Thank
You
you.
can also find us by going to theweednumber.com. Join our Discord. That's YOLO420.com/bornintheeighties. All of us are there all the time. By all of us, I mean me. I live there. John, where can we find you on the internets?
I'm on the Hell website, bornintheeighties.com or twitter.com. Sorry, Born in the 80s is not the Hell website, but
Yeah. We're definitely not bornintheeighties.com at all. But yeah, you're John_Danger over on Twitter.
that's right.
And you can find me at matthagmusic.com and instantaneous gramification. There used to be a guild on our server called Big Dick Cowboy Gang.
Man, you're making that drumming robot, but for what?
I don't know.
I
For
don't
fun.
know why. Okay, cool.
Eventually it'll be featured in like YouTube videos of music music
Okay.
videos and stuff.
Yeah, I figured. I'm at May of May 84 on Twitter. You can find me almost everywhere else on the internet by just Google searching May of May. But more importantly, that's twitch.tv/May of May. I should be streaming sometime in the next year or so.
Do it. Goodbye everyone. I love you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Born in the 80s, the making of the sausage.
There's one viewer. There's nobody watching this.
It's me. I'm the viewer.
I'm a viewer too, so
Let me get myself banned from Twitch. I'm just going to say F you in the chat. There, I did it.
oh, he's getting there.
Yep, we are.
Okay, that's probably good. I'm gonna just slide it up. That's what she said. Hey, that looks good to me.
Let's set my face again.
You probably should get like a background, Matt. I feel like.
For behind here
Well,
or
well,
for
he can't
the
do it
for
the,
OBS.
Oh, like for OBS.
he can't do it the way that he's captured us right now, but going forward.
Oh, because it's pulling this black image from Discord.
Yeah. I'm just so
Let's not worry about
lazy.
it. Let's get started. I want to get started. It's like almost 9.
Yep.
Get rid of the starting soon. I'm gonna intro because I need to drink this goddamn drink.
Uh-huh.
I'm thirsty as fuck. For your mom.
My mom?
No, the listener's mom.
The listener's mom?
Yeah, our one listener's mom. All right, here we go.
TJ's mom?
Welcome
She's
to
here.
Born in the 80s. TJ, you goddamn monster.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
It's okay. What were you going to say? It was so important you had to interrupt me.
Well, he said TJ's mom, and I'm like, she's here.
She's got it going on.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. You've been watching Born in the 80s. For instructions in English, please press... Wow, I can't say please press. For instructions in English, please press 1. Para instrucciones en español, oprime el 2.
Sometimes I'll just like randomly get sharp pains in my brain, and I probably have a tumor.
I don't know. I mean, your thing's probably more serious than mine. I've got a couple of impacted wisdom teeth and my broken tooth that have been having really, really bad tooth pains. I've talked about it on the last podcast.
Yeah.
But it will send shooting pains up to my eyeball and into my head.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of my headaches are just sinus oriented.
Yeah.
It just radiates out from there.
John,
What up, boys?
everyone left except for me, so we do have a weird thing
Thing
we'll
to
have to
edit.
edit out of the podcast.
Motherfucker, Matt.
I had to get an Excedrin or two.
Yeah.
You're meant to vamp when I'm not here, you motherfucker.
What is
TJ,
this,
why didn't you
live?
single vamp?
I kind of tried to. Just like... whole
This is all
music
getting
shit.
cut out.
And I hope not. Not the burp. Burp's the best part.
That's the edit point. That you can
Yeah.
disguise the edit.
The wave. Yeah. All right.